And now on to another big story of the day. Ahead of the panchayat elections, you would think that the concern of the state government of West Bengal would be free and fair elections. In fact, the West Bengal State Election Commission actually came to the Supreme Court against the order of the High Court, where they gave the permission for the deployment of central forces. And ahead of the panchayat elections on the July 8, the Supreme Court dismissed the Bengal Election Commission's plea against the Calcutta High Court for the deployment of central forces in the state. Now, the Apex Court has said that the State Election Commission should not have any grievance with the High Court's direction on the deployment of central forces in every district. The court believes that this would ensure free and fair elections in the state of West Bengal. You also have a certain degree and a great degree of political war of words going on this entire matter. BJP State President Sukanta Majumdar, he even met Governor C.V. Anand Bose to discuss the security situation. There were instances of sporadic violence that were reported across the state, with about 5 reported deaths so far. In fact, a peace room has been established at Raj Bhavan in Kolkata for people to register their complaints, much to the annoyance of the state government. So far, more than 350 complaints have been filed with the portal. BJP has accused the TMC of intimidating voters and candidates. TMC has accused the BJP of engineering the crisis. Once again, political violence synonymous with the state of West Bengal. The big question is politics above law and order? And when it comes to ensuring peaceful elections, shouldn't the focus of state government be on free and fair elections instead of focusing on who is guarding the state? Our focus on brass tacks.
Wanted to contest in panchayat election from opposition ticket, but right now they can't go back to their home.
हम लोग वीडियो ऑफिस में नॉमिनेशन देने के लिए गए थे, लेकिन वहाँ पर बहुत माफिया रस चल रहा है, किसी को घुसने नहीं दिया। वो शेख शाहजहां है, वो किसी को वीडियो ऑफिस के पास जाने नहीं दे रहा है।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ये जो राय आया है, भार्डिक्ट आया है, हम इसकी वेलकम करते हैं, सराहना करते हैं।
Trinamool Congress works for the people at large throughout the year under the guidance of Madam Mamata Banerjee. So during the election, Trinamool Congress is very much confident to be bestowed upon by the blessings of the common people during the poll.
So what's more important, politics or a free and fair election process without any instances of violence? Joining us on the broadcast is Mr. Tausif Rahman, who's the spokesperson of TMC, Mr. Jayant Ghoshal, who's a senior journalist. We're also expecting Mr. Shishir Bajoria from the BJP to join us in just a bit from now. Mr. Rahman, first to you. What was the preliminary objection of the TMC or the state government of West Bengal, or the State Election Commission to be precise, if the central forces were to be deployed? This is to ensure law and order situation in the state, and the Supreme Court found no merit in the argument of the State Election Commissioner.
Ma'am, good evening. Ma'am, to save the democracy and to save our people and to have a fair election, we can go to any extent. And actually, you will see we have a different pattern that we don't mind the central force. But when you are targeting the ruling government that they are not being able to control anything now, that's where we have a problem. And central force deployment is nothing new in West Bengal. It was there in 2008, 2013, 16, 19, 21 as well. But I don't think so. Central force was helpful of any kind. Nothing changed. Whoever wanted to do anything and they wanted to do. Now the problem is that, like, if under the leadership of Amit Shah, Suvendu Adhikari is getting all the messages, and why don't they come forward and just say it one time that ISF, BJP, Congress, Left Front are working together and they want a massacre in Bengal. So we could handle it. Imagine, ma'am, if you are roaming with a TMC jhanda, with a bomb in your hand, and then you say that Bengal is becoming a cottage industry of an bomb, something like that. We are not going to accept that. But yes, Of course, when you will ask about the security of the people, we are not backing out. It is absolutely Mamata Banerjee, the Honorable Chief Minister of Bengal, is truly responsible to take
Mr.
care of
Rahman.
everything. And I assure you, everything will be in place.
Mr. Rahman,
These all
five
video,
people,
which has been
five
floating around like a fake
five
narrative.
people have lost their lives.
Not five, ma'am. Not five. More than 12.
Yes, so far the official number which has been attributed to political violence can be 5, and you might have the ground reports that tell you the numbers are much higher.
Right.
Coming to the number of deaths that have happened. Sir, one second. Please listen to my question and then you can make your point, sir. Mr. Rahman, the point here is not what the BJP is doing. The point here is not the kind of politics which is happening. If people are losing their lives because of political violence, whether it's the state police force or whether it's the central agencies, an elected state government which is duty bound to protect its citizens should not have any problem. Why would you go to Supreme Court and say, look, we don't want central forces, they come and create problem in the state? Why would you even say that?
Because there's only one reason. Because if you make a mockery out of a central government that we are not being liable to do anything, we don't have that capacity, we are not capable of doing anything, spreading a fake narrative that this government is totally a failure. So that is a problem. If something is happening in Bengal, we need to stop that. Ma'am, I would like to state this in clear terms that Trinamool Congress is not involved in this incidents of violence. The party leadership has issued strong instruction to booth workers and to refrain from any violence and make sure that the entire nomination procedure remains free and fair. We have seen that over 1 lakh nominations have been filed by different political parties until June 14. And what is the today report? By BJP is just 1% behind. They are standing in number 2nd with the nomination. But why they are crying foul? Why they want a massacre? They don't have to do that. We can't take all the blames.
Those are some very strong words that you're using, that BJP or other political parties want a massacre in the state. I want to cut across to Mr. Jayanta Ghoshal as well. Mr. Ghoshal, to what extent do you find the arguments of Mr. Rahman plausible? I mean, as a student of law, I only think that it's important that the state should be peaceful and secure. It doesn't matter if it's the state police or the CISF or the CRPF which is guarding the state. The focus should be on law and order and ensuring free and fair elections. Mr. Ghoshal.
Actually, I have a different take on this violence issue. Because, for the last 40 years, I am covering this West Bengal politics. I have not seen any single election, not even panchayat, any single election without any violence. So, my perception is that there is a DNA of political violence in West Bengal politics. And I remember when Advani ji was the Home Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, there was a DG conference in Bigyan Bhavan. And that time, political violence, the first boy was West Bengal. And, this caste violence, communal violence is a different. That was more actually, that time it was more in UP and Bihar. Sushil Sinde became Home Minister, Congress Jamana, and that time also the same report. So there is a DNA, and when Siddharth Sankarai was the Chief Minister, the lumpen elements, they used to do the violence, and it was the inheritance of those lumpen, we used to call lumpen proletariat. They actually inducted in the CPM structure, and in that particracy, panchayat, it is a major three-tier system, what actually, instituted in the left front time very successfully, and political violence also was maximum in CPM terror. Mamata, that time, she was against that violence, because she was the opposition, she used to go to the president of
Mr.
India
Ghoshal,
also.
why is it...
Memorandum. Now in TMC, in TMC, that lumpen elements is a law of nature. After 10 years of the regime, those elements are inside TMC, state subject, law and order. So TMC has to take the responsibility.
Mr. Ghoshal,
also.
I have a lot of respect
something happens.
to the
blame Manipur government for that.
To the decades of experience with which you're speaking here right now. But because of the paucity of time, I'm making this interjection to you. When the TMC government says that there is nothing wrong that the state government is doing, or for that matter, there is no TMC worker which is involved in any kind of violence, do you really buy that argument? Mr. Shishir Bajoria is also with us on the broadcast, but first, Mr. Ghoshal, please.
No, Anusha, actually, the political party, I'm not wearing any jersey of any political party.
Right.
I think in TMC also there are guns. And BJP, who is the beneficiary out of this controversy, who is making the issue? It's an issue for BJP because the political violence is a very important issue. And BJP can go to the election commission, BJP can go to the... So what Mamta did when Mamta was opposition, now BJP as a successful opposition party in Bengal, you just see what was BJP and what is BJP today.
Absolutely.
But what you are saying, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the paramilitary force also dependent on state police.
Yeah.
So it's a issue of federalism.
Exactly,
not the political violence.
exactly, and
In
to politicize
2021
the security forces, I think, is taking the argument to another level. Mr. Shishir Bajoria, before you were able to join the discussion, I was having a discussion with Mr. Tausif Rahman from the TMC. He is with us on the broadcast, and there were certain very strong words which the TMC is using here. They're saying that parties like BJP should make it abundantly clear if they want to have a massacre in the state of West Bengal. The entire violence is instigated by the BJP, and then they cry victims and go to a High Court or a Supreme Court to seek relief. That's the argument that the TMC is making, sir. Respond.
Well, very clearly, so what Tausif Bhai is saying is beyond saying laughable, beyond laughable. If we are the instigators of violence, what is West Bengal police doing? Why aren't they catching us? He has forgotten Boktui. 15 people were burnt to death. The Chief Minister herself goes there and says the police came late because the TMC leader called the police late. I'm quoting only the Chief Minister. I was watching the program while I couldn't log in for some technical reason.
Yeah.
He even said getting CAPF is normal. So what's so great about it? Oh, wow. I really appreciate that statement. Then I have a very simple question. Why did the state government and its partisan election commission go to Supreme Court? And what did Supreme Court today say? Supreme Court made two observations. Both the state government and the partisan state election commission's head should be hanging in shame. For the state government, Supreme Court's observation was election is not a license for violence, not a license for violence. And for the election commission, they said, we are surprised that you have come on appeal against the central force. And the representative of Trinamool here says it's normal to get central force. What happens with Bhaiya, aisa hai, central force does not vote. Central force is not your West Bengal police. West Bengal police catches a Trinamool person with a revolver, catches. And it is heard in the TV channel that the cop standing next to him is saying,
no, that's an interesting point you've made. And I think the point about federal structure is also an interesting. Mr. Rahman, isn't the TMC and your leaders talk about the federal structure, remind the BJP not to be autocratic? Then where is the entire respect for federal structure gone right now? I mean, what is the problem in having the central forces being deployed in the state of West Bengal to maintain law and order? Isn't this cooperation the soul of Indian democracy and the manner in which the federal structure really operates? Mr. Rahman.
This is what I wanted to explain you when Sisir ji just said that there's goons from TMC carrying guns and having bombs and everything. They don't have any proof. They are just going to the state police, putting FIR. They are running to the Supreme Court. They are going to the High Court. But I just want to know that why don't they declare that they are working with ISF? What happened in Bhangar, I want to explain you in 30 seconds. Now, these people went to ISF leaders and they wanted to attack TMC. How this all started? This is the problem where Didi suspended a lot of leaders when she came to know this is what is happening. She strictly said that I am not going to entertain such incident in Bengal, whether you are from TMC, BJP or whatsoever. Now, overnight, what happened that we decided that there are certain elements, bad elements, which we are not going to give them tickets.
But Mr. Rahman, how are you so sure? You have lakhs of people as your party workers. How are you so sure about each party worker within the TMC? Can't there be lumpen elements?
Ma'am, let me explain
you also have a senior journalist with 30 decades of experience saying that yes, there are lumpen elements within the TMC.
I totally respect Jayantoda. No, I totally respect Jayantoda. I never spoke over him. So now the problem is that when we denied those tickets, ma'am, you have to know and you should get these reports. Now, these people went and joined BJP immediately. And now they are the one who started this circus all over Bengal.
So have
now,
you arrested all of them? Have you arrested all of them?
That
have
yes,
you arrested all of them?
People who have started these. So this blame game will never stop. But yes, TMC is standing like a Mount Everest.
Okay.
We know what to do. We will take care of our
I'm
people,
short of
whether it's
time. A
BJP,
closing comment
TMC,
from Mr.
Congress or
Shishir Bajoria.
whatsoever.
Yes, Mr. Bajoria. Please go ahead.
Very, very quickly, one line only. If what Tausif Bhai is saying, if it is correct, pakde kyun nahi bhai? The fact is, yesterday we took 30 people who are, they're just a small sample. There are lakhs, well, not lakhs, thousands who have had to flee from their home. All our 55,000 nominee holders of candidature.
All stories.
To the
Sir,
governor.
maybe you people should start. You will face Shakespeare and Macbeth and Hamlet.
All right, Mr.
What
Ghoshal,
stories you
Mr.
are putting
Ghoshal,
and you want to show to
I'm very
India?
sorry to
It
give
is
you this limited
absolutely
time
very
of 20
upsetting.
or 30 seconds. But Mr. Ghoshal, will we ever see end to this political violence? You pointed out to the decades of violence that has existed in the state. Even a panchayat election or local body election is not without it. What will end this violence?
You know, after 40 years of my journalism, I have become very cynical. You know, in Bihar and UP, political violence was there. I have seen when Mayawati was chief minister, what happened in the assembly. I was in that day. When TN Session and Lalu, I saw the political violence. But I have to admit one fact.
Yeah.
It's not against TMC or against BJP. But in UP, in the last Yogi Adityanath's election, when the Pura Nigam, I mean the municipal election was there, not a single death took place.
Yes.
So why Bengal? I'm not blaming Mamata Banerjee for that, but perhaps their political DNA, we have to change. Maybe the socio-economic factors, we don't have time. Otherwise, I can discuss that issue. On the socio-economic issues,
All right.
the bomb should not be the factory. The heavy industry should be the main priority of our state. So
If a
irrespective
state
of
like
party
Uttar
line,
Pradesh
if
can
BJP
do
comes
it.
tomorrow
Yes,
in
yes.
the power, these guns will go to BJP.
If a state like UP can do it, why can't the state of West Bengal do it? I'm completely out of time. Mr. Shishir Bajoria, Mr. Tausif Rehman, Jayant Ghoshal. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the broadcast. We'll continue tracking this story and much more here on Brass Tacks. It's a wrap on this edition. Thank you so much for watching.